Hey everybody, Sean here with my friend Jordan, and it's X-Men night. That's right, we're back talking about
late
some
night X-Men.
Yes, late night X-Men. We normally do these Sunday night, but we're doing it like Saturday going into like Sunday.
Past Sunday now.
We just got done watching everyone's favorite X-Men movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine. I haven't seen this movie really since I saw it in theaters back in 2009. Like, I think I saw bits of it, but it never really left a large lasting impact. There was a few scenes I had remembered, but then for the most part, it was kind of forgettable. And I like rewatching this, I'm like, I've forgotten so much of what happens in this movie. It is a pretty forgettable movie. Now, is it better or worse than X-Men 3, X-Men U? Here's the thing about this movie. It's actually not half bad up until he gets the adamantium injected in him. After that, the movie just takes a nosedive downhill. Because like it's not so bad up until that point. Yeah, there's a few goofy moments that are straight up like, you know...
The CGI is really bad.
The CGI is really, really
it's like Fast and Furious kind of.
Right, it's like a Too Fast, Too Furious level of Fast and Furious corniness. And it gets kind of laughable. Basically, once he gets
like parties clawing the ladders.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like Hugh Jackman. You can see him now punching the air.
Right, or when you he's at the house of the old couple, and then he the adamantium claws come out, and he's doing this. And I'm like, oh wow, that does not look good at all. Yeah. There's moments where it looks okay, and then other times it just looks bad. So this is the origin of Wolverine, or is he Jimmy or Logan?
We've already had his origin like 3 times in the other movies too. So
right, so like they kind of explained that he was born in like the 1800s, and then you see him grow up with Sabertooth, who's very different from his character in the first X-Men movie. He seemingly... Did he lose his memory too? Like, why? This does not really line up in terms of like it's
the Deadpool part's the most confusing part too.
Yeah, that's we'll get to that in a second. That was not very good at all. Honestly, I feel like X3 left a bigger impact. Like X3 is more like infuriating in some ways.
Well, X3 is like a bigger movie. This is a prequel. Prequel movies are always smaller, right? I mean,
right. But even then, some prequels can leave a bigger impact.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Phantom Menace was a life-changing movie, so...
It's a snoozing movie, but...
I love that movie.
The only one I like of the prequels really is Episode 3. But anyway, so yeah, there's some cool bits. Like, I like the opening kind of credits where it's just chronicling Wolverine and Sabertooth, like, going through the various different wars. You get to see how Sabertooth kind of goes a little bit more unhinged as it goes on. It's basically it kind of reminds me a bit of Commando. In a way, Sabertooth is in essence just Bennett from Commando. They're all part of the same unit that he enjoyed killing a little bit too much, and then he's just like going and attacking our buff jacked lumberjack man, just like in Commando. And then it just, although there's no kidnapping of some girl, but yeah, so like that stuff was pretty cool. You get to see Ryan Reynolds' first appearance as Wade Wilson, although it doesn't seemingly line up in terms of continuity with the Deadpool movie. But then again, he went back in time and changed. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, because he gets another origin story in it, which is why it's so confusing. Because one of these has to be invalid, right? I mean, I guess that's what they did with the timeline anyway. So. Right,
yeah, the timeline,
who knows?
That's right, they did change the timeline a bunch.
Yeah, it's on film, so that's all that matters.
Right, so eventually Sabertooth comes in. His motivation really doesn't make much sense at all. I don't understand why he would ever really try and go and attack Logan.
Why does he attack the other guys? I don't
know. Like, it's not fleshed out really in any ways. And plus, why is it Liev Schreiber, not Tyler Mane from the... Like, to be fair, Liev Schreiber has a better on-screen presence, but Sabertooth in the first X-Men movie is like a jacked giant. I just don't buy these as the same people. And then, really, after Wolverine gets his adamantium stuff, which is a cool scene, and then afterwards, then it's just a bunch of cameos.
Yeah, and like the Blob's in here.
The Blob's in there. Gambit's in there.
Yeah, and like, God, the series is just
Cyclops,
continuously disrespecting
Professor
Gambit.
X shows up, and he's bald, and can walk, apparently, which does not line up with what goes on in First Class at all. Although, these...
Why does this movie exist?
It really doesn't need to exist.
That's probably the worst thing with this.
Hugh Jackman, of course, is still really great. He is by far the best part of the movie. Like he carries it the best he can, but he can't save it from Not a very good script, at least in the second half. Up until the adamantium stuff, like that, it's all right. I was like watching, like, this isn't that bad. Like I was kind of enjoying some bits. It's hokey in some portions where there's that one guy who's doing all those ridiculous flips. Like I was
when his wife dies.
Yeah, his wife dies. I'm like, okay, that's a little cliche, but like,
well, the acting, no, it was like,
like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine scream, like he's still pretty cool in the stuff. Although like that was later revealed to be a bit of a ruse.
Plot twist.
Yeah, plot twist. So like that was kind of neat. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cliche here. Like, okay, well, there's a twist involved with it, so like that's a little bit different, I guess. We knew she wasn't gonna really stick around, even because, well, Logan, he's not with her later on in the other X-Men movies. But then again, do they really care so much about continuity?
Clearly not.
Clearly not in a lot of ways. I'm just trying to grasp the ages. I guess this was like late 1970s or like early 1980s when this thing comes around. We have Stryker in here, and he's not written as smart or as intelligent as he was in X-Men.
Yeah, and he apparently gets convicted of a crime too, or he's tried. Nothing is explained upon that either.
Yeah, and then Wade apparently, like when he gets supposedly killed off, he comes back in the post credits, like shh, and then we never really get a follow up to it whatsoever.
These movies in general have done a horrible job with the end credits because these X3's end credit never gets expanded on. This movie's end credits don't get expanded on. Mr. Sinister, we don't see that get expanded on either. So
no, there's just God, like it wasn't.
Still waiting on my Mr. Sinister movie.
You're just not gonna get it. Marvel's not gonna bring in the X-Men with, at least in this capacity. I mean, they brought in
the fourth biggest villain out. I think, the fourth's probably right for Mr. Sinister.
I think. Apparently there's a lot of actors under contract, so they can't recast anyone until like 2025. So after they do their 2 back-to-back Avengers movies in the same freaking year, which they did when Matrix 3. Who
are the Avengers even going to be?
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah,
we're talking X-Men right now.
Yeah, we are talking X-Men.
Yeah, we're talking X-Men.
And this pointless movie that was just a blatant cash grab.
Yeah, this is just a blatant cash grab. Yeah, there's some cool stuff with Hugh Jackman. There's some fun action bits, but then there's some really, really bad CGI. Some bits reminded me of Austin Powers and Goldmember, where he takes down the chopper. I'm like, this is something that Goldmember was kind of parodying, and it felt like they just straight kind of like took that into this thing. And then then we get a bunch of cameos. You don't care at all. Like, there's no good real writing or characterization for many of them.
Why are these people in the... Like, Gambit had no reason in this movie.
Right, he's just there. He's very, like Terry Kitsch or whatever.
We better get our most famous character in besides Wolverine.
Yeah, and they didn't really do much with him. He was kind of lame in this movie. Sabertooth, like, Leo Schreiber's a good actor, but it didn't really, he didn't really do much for me. It just felt like he was just a step down in some ways from because Sabertooth felt like gigantic in the first X-Men. Now it's just like we're supposed to buy this is the same character. I could never buy this is the same character we saw in the first X-Men movie. And even then, like, why doesn't he have a connection to Wolverine? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the plot writing is just really bad on this. Like, I don't understand why Wolverine and Sabertooth are fighting. I don't understand what Stryker's trying to accomplish. Like, he wants to make a weapon. Okay, well, I get that part, right? Harvesting people's powers, but what was the point of the climax? Wolverine just walked away till Sabertooth showed up, so did he even care? Like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense when you try to think about it. And the climax is very kind of lackluster, not that exciting. It's a prequel, but even then, as we know, prequels can have exciting climaxes. Like,
this wasn't it.
Phantom Menace, that final lightsaber battle is really, really cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, you don't really know what's going to happen in that. And it's kind of shocking, isn't it?
No, I mean... You know Sony's going to not make it, but...
Well, Darth Maul could have lived in theory.
He did live in theory.
Oh, no. You know what? No, we're not going down this rabbit hole, but no, we're just going to pretend that...
Hey, we have to get some sort of Star Wars reference.
Yeah, I know. We could make an Episode 8 reference. There it is.
Just don't have the energy for it this time.
Well, God, Darth Maul should have just died. Why can't... I hear they want to bring Mace Windu back, too. Like, come on. Why... Can't leave good enough alone? Like... Who knows? Screw this. These people make Episode 8. They just want to keep shitting on themselves. But yeah, screw Star Wars. But yeah, we're back to Wolverine Origins.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. Normally we kind of ramble on for a bit talking about things, but like the second half of the
boring movie. It's dumb. There's no reason for this to exist.
Right. It's just there's bad CGI towards the end. It's the first of these movies where like I got a little. It wasn't half bad for the first like 50 minutes.
Yeah, and the opening scene where they raid the thing too is pretty good.
Right,
like,
that was fun.
Like Deadpool's got some jokes at the start of it,
and then whose dumb idea was it to just? I mean, even the Deadpool movies shit on this idea because everyone knows it's terrible.
It's so stupid. I'm like, why is he a villain?
Why is he just not Deadpool? Right, it just.
I don't know. He's the best part of this 7 minutes of this movie when he's in it, and then in the first half, and the second half is just like, oh, we're gonna troll you.
Right. Hugh Jackman at least gives it his all. Like he never like half-asses anything with it, and I guess some bits stand out more than the first X-Men movie was because the first X-Men movie was like a prototype movie. Like by this point, like they kind of like, I guess they should know what they're doing a little bit more. But yeah, in terms of continuity, some bits don't really make too much sense.
I mean, we're 2 for 4 on these movies. You had 2 pretty good ones and just 2.
Yeah, first one's decent. Second one's pretty good. Third one, I still don't hate. I'd rather watch X3 than this one, I think, because it's a little bit more exciting in some aspects. But like that one does like some infuriating things with Cyclops. But then again, Cyclops is in this movie too, and they do like jack shit with him.
Yeah, I mean,
once again,
that's the thing with this. Yeah, it's just cameo after cameo. It's like, they bury your favorite characters, right? Because I think if you're an X-Men fan like me, you hear, oh, we're going to have Deadpool and Gambit in this movie. It's like, oh, finally, about time. And
then they do nothing with Gambit.
You have to wait like an hour and 7 minutes just to even see Gambit. And then when he comes out, it's like, wow, the acting is terrible. And he does a little card trick, and then he goes away again.
Right. So, let's not forget Wolverine's slashing. I know we mentioned that earlier, but like him cutting down the ladder was so bad looking. I'm like, oh my god, this is embarrassing.
And then they had a couple other mutants in there that Sabertooth kills for some reason. I don't even know why. Like
it doesn't like. Was he trying to steal their powers? Why is he killing them?
Who knows?
Who knows? Like, a lot of this movie is just bullshit.
This sucked. This is stupid.
But hey, you know what? For those of you who want to see Hugh Jackman naked, you want to see his ass, there you go.
True, it does look nice.
Yeah, good for that guy. He put in the work to, like...
His shoulders look strong, He lifted.
Yeah, man's clearly put his work in.
And his girlfriend is pretty hot in it.
Yeah, for while she's around, or his wife,
girlfriend,
or his fake wife, or whatever. But she still loved him, and then all that stuff.
The plot twist doesn't make any sense in this either. Why did she fake her death? What did they? I don't get it. I don't know what Stryker's trying to accomplish in this movie. I don't know why. Well, you know what? She could have been a hero and just killed him. So there's that too.
Yeah, and then a lot of the suspense is taken out.
And then he uses adamantium bullets to
wipe his memory.
I don't fucking know. I mean, I know what they were trying to do because he didn't know who he was in the prequels. Am I buying that?
I don't know.
No,
not really. Stryker, at least he learned by X2. Like he's a very competent and smart villain in X-Men 2. Man, I'd rather just watch X2 again.
I mean, he does
X2 is so much better than this. But you know what? On the plus side, we're going to be taking a look at First Class next time.
Yes, the best cameo of any of these movies.
Right, like Wolverine, of course. Yes, I am looking forward to watching First Class. I haven't seen every bit of it, but I know most people say it is a major improvement. They actually add some color to the suits.
It does look more comic-like, and it's very 60s, and we have more obscure comic characters maybe than, well, I guess Stryker kind of is. But.
Right, and then after that I think it was The Wolverine, and then it was Days of Future Past.
And then we start getting good again. Yay!
Yay! So,
yay!
At least First Class should be a lot better than this one. This one is the worst of the 4 we watched so far.
I'm really torn between this and X3. My expectations are definitely higher for, right? Because the first 2 were good.
But you know what? X3, it did some more things that seemed infuriating in some ways. But then again, this ruined Deadpool way worse. Like,
but you ruined Dark Phoenix, though. That's like your iconic.
Yeah, but
comic though.
There's still I mean, we're having a little bit more fun with X3. It's at least paced better. It's more action.
I mean, it's better as a film, but still.
There you go. There's your answer. It's better as a film.
Much. I mean,
there's better action scenes in that one. Beast is pretty fucking cool. There's some more funny Wolverine bits and like how he kind of plays off things. I
can't pick which one's better. I'm scoring this a 1.2, the same thing I scored.
I don't know what
X3.
What did I score X3? I think I gave it like a 5.
Something like that.
5.5. This one gets like a 3 out of 10. It's not very good. Hugh Jackman gives it his all, but I mean, it wasn't half bad up until like I was enjoying some bits to it up until like right as soon as like he gets the adamantium stuff and then he goes to the farm, which isn't so bad. Like that's a nice little scene, which I feel like Logan kind of called back to it a bit. And then as soon as like those 2 people die, then it just goes downhill. Like the people who helped him out. As soon as that happens, it goes downhill and it never recovers. Like it's just like you just stop caring by that point. So
this sucked. There's no reason for it to exist, much like The Last Jedi. Did they retcon this? They absolutely did, like they should do to The Last Jedi. And speaking of things you should do, you should like and subscribe.
Hey, there's your plug-in right there. So but yeah, so this is our continuation of X-Men. We have been talking, once we finish up the X-Men series, which we're going to finish up when we get to the New Mutants.
Oh, God, we have to watch
We are going to watch New Mutants. I've never seen it. I have no idea.
Well, not many people have. I mean, I saw the box office returns.
Yeah, because it came out like 2020, I think.
It was a movie that had no purpose to exist.
Right. It sat on the shelf for several years. So it'll be interesting to see how the X-Men series, because we also talked about their appearance in Doctor Strange too, so that counts too. So we've already talked about that. But yeah, because I think I did do videos on Deadpool 2 and Logan when they came out. But you know what? That was like when I first started this whole after. We're gonna redo those because Logan was like my first batch of recordings for this series. Really so we'll just call it review.
And we'll review some other vintage Marvel things like the classic Spider-Man movies or the less classic Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I've already talked about all the MCU movies on the channel, but we want to go through and talk about like every live action Marvel.
That movie,
the non-MCU ones, like I mean, technically things are connected in some ways now, but like the pre-MCU Marvel superhero films.
I don't know how we're going to be able to review the Incredible Hulk because it's going to require us to stay awake.
No, Hulk.
It's going to require us
Incredible Hulk was with Edward Norton. That was 2008. That was actually like...
Hulk is going to be difficult to review because it's going to require us to stay awake to this movie. And that in itself is an achievement.
But hey, we'll get there. We'll go back in time. You know what? We'll have to start with the very first one, which is Howard the Duck, of course.
Oh my God.
You know who produced Howard the Duck?
I do know who produced Howard the Duck.
George Lucas. So it all comes back together.
And if you can find that...
I have seen that movie. It is really, really bad.
Oh, boy. I don't know. What about Daredevil? I want to watch that. I want to listen to Evanescence and
Wake
see
me
Daredevil.
up. Wake me up.
Yeah, God.
I saw Daredevil on HBO Max just now. So,
we'll review that. That'll be a classic movie.
I'm looking forward to seeing, like, we'll talk about Blade. I can finally watch Blade Trinity because I've avoided it for all these years.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no, Sean.
Oh, Man-Thing would be another one.
That Blade Trinity might be a 0. That might be...
Because...
That's going to be the strong running for the first movie we're going to watch.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. We might even have to revisit Fan 4 Stick.
Speaking of Blade Trinity, I find it funny, like...
Ryan Reynolds, he had a bad string of luck until...
Jared Leto, everyone rips him Morbius, and I'm like, it's not even the worst Marvel vampire movie, so how bad could it really be?
Yeah. Well, I think, Patton Oswalt said the movie's... the fact that it got made is the best movie of all time. He's like, it's terrible, but the fact that it actually got made, or like got finished being filmed, he's like, I'm in Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the greatest thing of all time because it actually got filmed. He's like, it's a terrible movie, but... in essence, because they actually finished making, because Wesley Snipes was just really awful on set, never would do any work and stuff. But
film is a miracle of
it's a miracle that it got finished. So
it's just everything. It should have been scrapped like Batgirl, but we didn't do that back then.
Yeah,
scrap Batgirl, baby. That was great. Warner Brothers, excellent job. I respect you for saving face, scrapping that turd of a movie. And Michael Keaton can stay retired.
Shut up,
save
you piece
his
of
legacy.
Shit. We're gonna fight right now. I'm gonna beat the hell out of you.
I just think
Michael Keaton is a legend.
That's why he doesn't need to be in that movie.
Michael Keaton is a legend.
He still got paid. Remember the good times.
I wanted to see him back as Batman. We've lost track of the thing. Fuck
Batgirl. Watch First Class Review. This movie sucked. Don't watch X-Men Origins Wolverine. Go right to Logan or Deadpool. Those are much better.
Yeah.
Much better sequel movies or prequels.
Hashtag release Batgirl.